Lot 1 in your catalogues. Lot 1 is the 1991 Yamaha TZR250 3XV. No reserve whatsoever on this particular bike, ladies and gentlemen, showing round about 28,600 miles. UK registered in 1997, so she was imported into the UK back in 97. Did have some light restoration work done in 2022, stored in a private collection since. And just to point out, I'm sure you are all aware anyway, that it's a V-twin and not a parallel twin, as we stated on the website originally. So no reserve. As a consequence, of course, I've got a shed load of bids here, absolutely loads of them. You've got 1,300 there, Thomas. I've got 1,400 bid with me at £1,400, 1,500, 1,600, 17 in the room, right in the centre of the room at 1,700, 1,800 internet, 19 in the room. We'll stay in those £100. Fill it up at home. 2,000, 2,1. Back in the room at £2,100 bid. 2,2, 2,3. Still with you, sir, in the room at £2,300. 2,4 internet. 2,5 in the room. Still in the room at 2,500. Just shout if anybody else wants to come in. 2,6. 2,7. 2,7 at 2,008. 2,9. In all the excitement, dropping your paddle at £2,900 I have. Fill it up at home to 3,000 or I'm selling the bike. Make no mistake. 3,000. 3,1. Sorry about that, sir, but thanks for having a good go on that one at 3,100. 3,2. Still going on the internet at £3,200 bid. At 3,200. You're in Warrington, Cheshire, no doubt viewed the bike. 3,3 in Driffield at 3,400. Back in Warrington at £3,400 bid now at 3,4 on the Yamaha TZR. 3,5 in the room. I've got you in the room. Thanks, sir. At 3,500. 3,6. 3,7. You're still out in Warrington. Gentleman's bid in the room. 3,8. 3,9. You're still out in Warrington. Fill it up to 4 if you like. 4 bid. I'll still stay in hundreds. 4,1. Back in the room. 4,2. 4,3. Still in the room. You're out at home at £4,300 bid. 4,4. You sure, sir? At £4,400 bid at 4,400. 4,5. Fresh bidder now. At £4,500. Oh, sorry, Warrington. So we had a fresh bidder previously, didn't we? At £4,500 bid. In Warrington at 4,500. 4,6. Still going at 4,600. Back in Driffield at 4,6. 4,7. Back in Warrington at £4,700 bid at 4,700. Absolutely sure in Driffield. Leaving the bike behind at 4,008 now. You're back in at £4,800 bid at 4,008. 4,9. Back in Warrington at 4,900. Yamaha TZR250 here. Absolutely cracking example at 4,9. 5 bid at £5,000. Only bid at 5,000. That's what I mean, Thomas. This is how to sell them. No reserve. 5,1 at £5,100 bid at 5,100. Back in Warrington at 5,100. You're out in Driffield. 5,2. You're back in. Thanks very much indeed in Driffield at £5,200 bid now. Against you in Warrington. 5,3. Still going at £5,300 bid. Internet against internet bidding all the way there at 5,300. Oh, shall we take 50, Thomas? Shall we be kind to our bidder in Driffield at 5,300? I'll take a small bid from you at home if that'll help you to come back in. Thanks very much indeed for joining back in at 5,350. Now in Driffield, same thing applies to you in Warrington. We'll take another £50 notes if you like at 5,000. 300, 5,4, still going at 5,400, 50 again if you like in Driffield, at £5,400, great bike here, at 5,450, thank you at home, at 5,450, against you in Warrington, at £5,450, bids in Driffield, have to hurry in Warrington, just to be fair to our bidder in Driffield there. Absolutely sure at home, finished and done, and I will sell the bike unless there's any further interest in the room at £5,450. You finished and you're done. Sold away to our Driffield buyer at 5,450. Lot 10, ladies and gentlemen. Move on in your catalogue to lot 10. It's the 1991 Suzuki RGV 250. This time it's the VJ22 flavour. Low mileage, in fact, very low mileage, 2,294 miles. 6-speed manual, UK bike, this one showing just 2 owners on the V5 registration document. Interest on the internet that's been pinging away while I've been telling you about the bike starts you at 5,000, 5.5, 6 bid at £6,000 bid now at 6,000 against you in the room, ladies and gentlemen, at £6,000. at just 6,000. At 6,000, bid at 6,000. Coming in if you like anywhere else, ladies and gentlemen, at just 6,000. Got you in the room at 6,200. Thanks very much indeed. I'll take it at 6,2. 6.5, internet at 6,000, 6.8. Straight back at you, I'm afraid, Thomas, at £6,800, bid at 6.8. 7,000, at £7,000, only bid at 7,000. Thanks for your bids anyway, it's 7 bid. At £7,000, fresh bidder, 7.2 in the room. At 7,200, fresh bidder again. 7,500 bid. You're both out. At £7,500 on the RGV 250 at 7,500. Absolutely sure, ladies and gentlemen, at just £7,500. I'll take 7.6 if that'll help anybody come back in. Currently at £7,500 bid, and we're on outright sale, ladies and gentlemen. I'm selling the bike at 7,500. 1, 2 of you still hovering at home. Great bike here, I can assure you. If you've not been to viewer at 7,500, I'll take 7.6. Absolutely sure at home. You're sure in the room as well. You're still both out, gentlemen, at £7,500. Finished and done. 7.6. 7.7. Still going at 7.7. You're still both out. Just shout if you want to come back in at any time at 7,700. Bids in Preston. We'll stay in those £100 increments. It's against you in Driffield. Great bike here, the RGV 250 at 7,000. £700 bid. Finished and done then. Absolutely sure. And I'll sell the bike. Make no mistake at all at 7,800. We'll have to have 8,000 now, won't we? Yes, at 8 bid. I'll stay in those £100 increments for you. £8,000 bid now at 8,000 with our bidder in Preston at 8 bid. Against you in Driffield. I'll take another £100 from you though if you like at £8,000. Fair warning, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't work that one as well as I could have done, did I? At £8,000 at 8 bid. Finished and done then. Selling away at £8,000 on the World Wide Web. Sold away at £8,000. Lot 17, ladies and gentlemen, lot 17 is the 2009 Benelli Tornado 900, just on my left there. I think this is a real sharp-looking machine. Very rarely get them in the sale room. Definitely a bit of me, this one. Showing round about 4,700 miles. November this year, the MOT. It's missing its wing mirrors, I think, on this one, but I believe that the vendor does have the mirrors somewhere. Original handbook, lots of history, recently serviced as well, runs and rides perfectly. Sat on recent tyres as well. I've got a shed load of commissions. The internet's pinging away, currently at 1250. I'm going to disappoint you at home on the internet. Like I said, this is a good-looking bike, this one. I've got 1,500, 1,750, 2,000, 2,250, 2.5, 2.8, 3,000. At £3,000 bid with me at 3,000. Next bid's 3.1. Just to be fair to my commit, I've got so many of them, Thomas. Yeah, just to be fair. Next bid's 3.1 at home if you want to. I'm currently at £3,000. 3.1, 3.2, 3.3. Commissions are out at £3,300. Bid in the room at 3.3. Great looking machine here at £3,300. You're all out at home. Make no mistake on the Benelli Tornado 900. Not a common bike at all. 3.4. In Henley-on-Thames. Against you, gentlemen, at £3,400 bid on the internet. Say 3.5 if you like in the room. Currently, you're out. Henley-on-Thames bidder, 3.5. In Gwynedd. Porthmadog in Gwynedd at 3,500. Shaking your head in the room, and that's a shame, because what a great bike this one is. At £3,500. You're all out, ladies and gentlemen, in the room. Make no mistake. You're out in Henley-on-Thames unless you've come back in, 3.6. Back in Henley-on-Thames. Thanks very much indeed. Against you in Wales at £3,600 I have bid on the Benelli Tornado at £3,600. Finished and done, 3.7, still going. Fresh bidder in Dorset. Thanks very much indeed for joining in the fun in Dorset at 3,700. You're still out in Henley. And like I said, I had a close look at this bike. Like I said, bit of me, this one. I really like this one at £3,700 bid. Finished and done in Henley then. Finished and done in Wales. I will sell the bike. Make no mistake, we're on no reserve and we're in £100 increments at £3,700. Finished and done in the room, are you? At 3,700, 3.8, right on the hammer. Please bid quickly at home. Don't want to miss you. Fresh bidder in County Fermanagh. So you're still out in Henley. You're still out in Wales. Still out in Dorset. Going over the water there to County Fermanagh, beg your pardon, County Fermanagh at £3,600. Finished and done, still hovering away at home. Please look sharper. I'm selling the bike at £3,800. Finished and done. Sold away at £3,800.
Moving on down we go to the lot number 32, and I'm going to hand over to Steve Berry to introduce this lovely bike coming your way.
Oh, look at this. Come on, the legendary Yamaha FS1-E. Would you believe that this motorcycle is half a century old? If anything today is going to make you feel old, it's probably this. But does it look old? No, it does not. It looks like a brand new motorcycle in this fantastic sort of burnt orange, bronzy, browny colour, whatever we're calling it. Powerful, powerful nostalgia at work here with this motorcycle. Feels 16 again, sort of, by buying this Yamaha FS1-E. And who would have believed that 50 years on, one of these could be perhaps worth as much as £5,000.
Right then, the Yamaha FS1-E there you go. Look at this one, and we're starting the bidding off with me then at £2,000 we're bid. At 2,000, 2,000, 2,000. At 2,000, 2,2 bid. At 2,2 the bid now. 2,002's online. At 2,002 and 2,4 bid. At 2,4, 2,4, 2,5, sir. 2,5 bid in the floor. At 2,5. At 2,5 the bid now. 2,005. At 2,005. 2,6 now. 2,7. 2,7 is bid. At 2,700 a bid now. 2,007 and 2,8 back online. 2,9. Thank you again. At 2,009. At 2,009 and 3 bid. At 3,001. At 3,1 the bid now. 3,1 is bid. At 3,002. 3,2 back online now. At 3,2. 3,2. 3,2. At 3,002 the bid. At 3,5. 3,500. Thank you very much, sir. At 3,005. That's how you make an entrance. At 3,005. At 3,005. At 3,6 bids against you. At 3,006. Would you like 3,7? At 3,007. Thank you again. At 3,700 is bid. And 3,8 back to the internet now. At 3,008. At 3,000. 3,008. At 3,800 is bid. At 3,000. 3,008. At 3,800 the bid. Then I'll take 3,900 if anyone else is interested from here. At 3,008. At 3,000. 3,000. 3,008. At 3,000, 3,000, 3,800, are we finished? Are we done? At 3,000, 3,009. At 3,900, back in online now. And 4,000 again. It's all online, the bidding now. In Kettering this time at £4,000. At 4,000, 4,000, 4,000. At 4,000 online bid. And 4,1. At 4,1 bid. Jimmy's bidder now. At 4,100 in on the telephone. At 4,001. At 4,001. Would you like 2 online? At 4,001. 4,2 you do. At 4,2, 4,2, 4,2. At 4,200 a bit now. 4,002. At 4,002. 4,3. 4,3 bit back on the telephone at 4,003. Internet, your turn. At 4,003. Would you like to go 4,4? At 4,300 a bid. At 4,000, 4,003. At 4,300, we're on the telephone then. I'm going to put the hammer in the air. 4,4 back online. 4,5. 4,5 of you, Jimmy. At 4,005. At 4,500 is bid. Online, would you like 4,006? Are you coming back in for one more? At 4,500 a bit, then we'll put the hammer up. Are we finished? Are we done? I'll give you that countdown. 4,6. 4,7, thank you. At 4,007 back in. At 4,007, would you like to go 4,8? At 4,007. At 4,700 a bit, then 4,007. At 4,007. Last chance online at 4,007 with you already at 4,7. Not take your bid again. At 4,007. At 4,007 a bid. Once on the telephone. 4,8. 4,8 bid. 4,9. 4,9 telephones back in at 4,009. Keen bidder on the telephone for this one at 4,900 were bid. At 4,009. At 4,000, 4,009 and 5,000. Would you like to go again online? Now's your chance. Do not make no mistake. It's here to sell. It's in the market. We go once. We go twice. Hammers up. 5,000. 5,000. I'll take 2 if I can. At 5,000, would you go 2? At 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. 5,1, I tried. 5,1 back to the telephone. And 2, would you go again online? At 5,001, we're on the telephone at the moment. At 5,000, 5,001. At 5,100, we're bid. At 5,100 a bid, then finished, done, last chance, fair warning. This time at 5,100, once, twice, 5,2. 5,2. They like the dramatic countdown. At 5,2 to bid. At 5,002. 5,2 already. Has to be 5,3. Thank you. 5,3 is bid now. At 5,003. Back on the telephone, right-handed now. At 5,003. At 5,300, we're bid. At 5,003 once. At 5,003 twice. And 5,4 bid now. 5,4. At 5,004. At 5,000, 5,400 is the online bid. And 5. 5.5, thank you, Jimmy. At 5.5, the bid now 5,005. At 5,500, we're bid. Would you like to go 5.6 online? You coming in for one more? At 5,500 a bid, then we go once. At 5,500, 5.6. At 5,000, 5,006. At 5,600, we're bid now. At 5,600 is the online bid. And 7, thank you, 5.7 again. Telephone bidding again at £5,700 here. At 5.7, the bid now 5,007. At 5,700, are we finished? Are we done? At 5,700 a bid, then once, twice. Last chance online. It's going to sell 5,800 a bid. At 5,008. At 5,800, 5.8. At 5,800 a bid now 5,008. 5.9, thank you. At 5,009, 2 bidders all the way this time at 5,009. Currently, with Jimmy on the telephone at 5,900, we're bid. At 5,000, 5,009. At 5,900 a bid, then once. At 5,900 a bid, then twice. Make no mistake online, it's selling at 5,900. Finishing done. Sold with you, Jimmy, at £5,900.
Next lot, ladies and gentlemen, is lot 79. Lot 79 is the 1953 AJS 16 MS. Complete barn find, this one. It's a restoration project. It doesn't have a registration plate with it. Now, that could mean that the plate's been taken off at some time in its life. But we're not too sure at all. There's no plate with her. She's unreg. We haven't got any documentation with it. Complete bike, requires full restoration. 349cc, 4-stroke singles on these, 4-speed gearbox as well. Let's have a look. Interest here. Thomas is going to start me away. No messing about. I'm in at 1,400, 1,600, 1,800, 2,000. At £2,000 bid with me at 2,000. On my commission book, ladies and gentlemen, at £2,000 bid. At 2,000. On commission. At just £2,000 bid. I'll take 2,100 if you like, from anybody in the room or around the globe. 2-1, 2-2 with me, sir. 2-3 is your bid. 2-4 is my bid. Thanks anyway for your bids. Much appreciated. Sorry you haven't got this one. The barn find, AGS, at £2,400. Bid with me at 2,400. Just give me a shout if you change your mind. At £2,400 bid. Or I'll take a £50 note from you if that'll tempt you. If I can twist your arm, but currently at 2,400 on commission. Finished and done in the room. You're absolutely sure. Just shout if I'm missing you. Selling away then. Outright sale at £2,400 on commission. Sold away at £2,400. 1,002. You know what I mean? Lot 82. Drama of the sale room. Lot 82. Lambretta Li125 this time. Low mileage recorded there on the odometer at the moment, showing 2,305 miles. It is a 195 motor, but on the V5 registration document, she is down as a 125, but we can confirm it's a 195 that's in this one. Bike has had a lot of money spent by the current owner. Invoices are in the history file as well. Not a bad looking machine here at all, as you can see on the video wall behind me. And you've got 3,000, Thomas, but I'm going to have to disappoint you. I've got 3,000. Well, thank goodness for that. That's 3-2 with you at home, and I'm out. At £3,200 bid at 3,200. Taking all mine commissions out at £3,200 bid. In Oldley Edge at £3,200 bid at 3,200. 3-4, thank you. Fresh bidder in the room at £3,400 bid at 3,400. 3-6. 3-8. I've got 3-8 in the room. 4,000. 4-1, thank you, sir. I'll take it at £4,100 bid at 4,100. We're on outright sale. 4-2. Give you a chance to think, sir. Thank you. 4-3, still with you. It's against you in Oldley Edge. 4-4, internet. I know, they can be very tenacious on the internet. 4-5, back in the room, at 4,500. 4-6, still on the internet at £4,600. It's against you, sir, I'm afraid to say. The little Lambretta Li125 with a 195 engine in. I'll take 50, sir, if that'll drag you back in for one last roll of the dice. 4,650. What are they saying on the internet, Thomas? I hope they're going to say no. 4-7. Sorry, sir. At 4,750 with the gentleman in the room at 4,750. We'll see what they have to say. 4-8. At £4,800 bid at 4,800. On the little Lambretta Li125. No expense spared whatsoever. I'm sure you've had a look at the history file of this one. And 50 bid at 4,850. Against you at home, 4,950 in the room. I can't believe that. 5,000. What about another 50, sir? I'm sure that'll do it. I'm pretty confident that that'll do it. I just feel, you know, I've been doing this for a long time. I just feel it in my bones. And 50. And I dare you at home. At 5,100. Finished and done, and I'm selling away. Next lot, ladies and gentlemen, in your catalogue is lot 120. 120. Now, here we go. It's a 1983 Kawasaki Z1000 R2, but it's in red, white, and blue, not green. Steve, what's going on here?
Well, not all Kawasaki's are green. No, most are, but some aren't. And this one is the red, white, and blue Eddie Lawson replica Kawasaki Z1000 R2. Completely standard, very unusual. Somebody said to me, is that the standard seat? I think yes, it's the optional standard seat because I've just thrown a leg over this hunk of muscular motorcycle. And at 5'10", I'm absolutely on tiptoes. This is a proper man's bike. Yes, I said it. And I don't care if you cancel me. Triple discs by this time because this is a huge, heavy motorcycle with enormous performance. This bike has got presence. Somebody said to me, oh, that's a pretty bike. I said, that's not a pretty bike. That's a handsome bike. That's a man's bike. A 1983 Kawasaki Z1000 R2 Eddie Lawson rep. And if you don't like green, well, it's built for you.
It is indeed. Looks absolutely fantastic, this one, the Eddie Lawson replica. Low mileage, Steve, on this one, just 29,140 kilometers. That's 18,066 miles there or thereabouts. We don't have any UK papers with her. She's on an EU reg. We have a Tenerife V5 document in the history file. There we are. Great bike here, the Z1000, the Eddie Lawson replica. Lots and lots of interest on my commission book. We can see you're all waiting at home. You're all lining up at home to have a bid. I might have to disappoint you. I'm in, let's have a look, at 5,000, 5,2, 5,5, 5,8, 6,000, 200, 6,5. At £6,500 bid with me. We're on outright sale at 6,500. Bid with me at £6,500, bid at 6,5. Eddie Lawson replica here at £6,500, selling away outright. Make no mistake whatsoever at 6,500. 6.8 on the internet. Where are we on the internet? We're in Lim in Cheshire. Thanks very much in Lim at 6.8. I've got 7,000. Still on commission at £7,000. Bid with me at 7,000. What a great machine this one is. The Z1000 Eddie Lawson replica in red, white, and blue, no less. At 7 bid with me at £7,000. Against you in Lim in Cheshire. At 7 bid. Next bid 7.2. 7.2. Back in Lim, is that? Yes, back in Cheshire at 7.2. I've got 7.5 on my commission book at £7,500, bid at 7,500. Still on commission, and we're still on sale at 7,500. Against you in Lim at £7,500 bid. I can see quite a few of you hovering away there at 7.5. I'll take 7.6, Thomas. We'll do them a favour at home. If you want to come back in Lim, thanks very much indeed. 7.6. All my commissions are out. Bids with you in Lim at £7,600 bid at 7,600. On the Eddie Lawson replica at £7,600. Still 1, 2, 3. Is that 3 of them hovering away? One of you's come in. 7.7 in Shipley in West Yorkshire. Thanks very much indeed for joining in. No longer your bid in Lim, but we'll stay in those £100 increments for you all. Still 3 of you hovering away at 7.7 we've got. On the big Kawasaki Z1000. Man's bike, like Steve Berry's just told you, at 7.7 bid. At 7,700. Give you a chance thinking about it at home, but please look sharp with those bids. Can't keep them open forever. Lots of bikes still to get through today at £7,700. No longer your bid in Lim. I'm selling away. Can we value them to the nearest 100? It appears so. 7.8 at £7,800. No longer your bid in Shipley. Bids in Lim in Cheshire at £7,800. Finished and done. Absolutely sure. 7.9. Still going at 7,900. Now, we don't know where that bidder is, unfortunately. Somewhere in the UK at 7,900. No longer your bid in Shipley. No longer your bid in Lim. Look sharp with your bids. Fill it up to 8,000 if you want it, or it's slipping through your fingers. And I'm selling away. Fair warning, still 3 of you hovering away at home. Look sharp with those bids. Don't want to miss you at home. But at £7,900, I'm selling the bike. Sold away at 7,900. Commiserations to all those underbidders. Next lot, ladies and gentlemen, lot 128 in your catalogues. Lot 128. Well, here we go. What an opportunity this is. 128. It's a 1998 Suzuki GSF 600V Bandit. New old stock. Steve, this must be the best ever, surely.
We say this a lot, don't we, Jules? Where else would you get it? Where else would you get a 28-year-old motorcycle? Yes, the Bandit 600 behind me is 28 years old. That it's brand new. How can it be brand new, Barry? Explain yourself. Right, I will. When the dealer closed in the year 2000, he mothballed everything that he had and just took it home and put it in his barn. So this is a 1997 or 1998, let me just quickly look, 1998 Suzuki GSF 600 Bandit, but it's done that's right, 1 mile from new, and that is pushing miles that it's done. This is a unique opportunity. You won't get it anywhere else. I often think of this bike and its bigger brother, the 1200, as the XR2 and the XR3 of the bike world. In that, they offered everything. Practicality, reliability, and performance in a package that was easy to live with. And that's why they sold so many of these. And there are so many of these for sale second-hand. Haha, but there's only one that's brand new, and we've got it right here. A brand new 600 Suzuki Bandit. Where else would you find that? Nowhere else but Manor Park.
There we are. The only one push mile. Here we are, Suzuki GSF 600V Bandit. New old stock, as Steve's told you. Real unique opportunity. Interest here on commission. I know you're all piling up here on the internet ready to bid, but I've got 3,000, 3,200, 3,500, 3,800 bid at £3,800 bid at 3,800 on the Suzuki Bandit at £3,800. Next bid's 4 if you like at home at £3,800 bid. I'm on outright sale at 3,800. New old stock, 1 push mile. You'll not be disappointed with this one. Like Steve told you, the dealership closed in the year 2000. All the stock was mothballed. Here we are, 1 push mile, Suzuki GSF 600V Bandit at £3,800 bid. Brand new Bandit at £3,800. Steve, how much were these when they were new? Can you remember?
Can I remember how much they were new?
Yeah.
Well, I can, because back in the day, when I was a presenter on BBC Television's Top Gear programme.
Top Gear, that's your second one. Go. That's number 2.
We did a feature, the best bikes you could buy for £5,000. And we had the best cruiser, the best middleweight sports bike, the best commuter bike, and the best all-rounder, I reckoned, and so did so many other people because they sold so many of them, was the 600 Bandit. In many ways, better than the 1200, which was a better touring bike, but perhaps not as good. Yeah. Well, definitely not as good around town or, you know, in the twisties as the 1200. So, yeah, it's almost as if, Jules, a bit like looking at me and you're thinking, Steve, you look just like you did in the 90s. With this bike and me stood next to it, it's like time stood still, isn't it?
Wow, Back to the Future with Steve Berry. There we go. It could be a new podcast, that. Well, I've got £4,000 bid now. So you're telling us that it was the best all-round bike at 5,000 when it was brand new. We're only at £4,000 new, and it is brand new. £4,000 in 2025. At £4,000, I'll take £100 from anybody else around the globe, but currently selling the bike at £4,000 only. For one. Thank you. At £4,100 bid at 4,100. New old stock. This is less than the bike was when it was brand new 27 years ago at £4,100, only bid at 4,100. On the Suzuki Bandit, you're absolutely sure, ladies and gentlemen, everywhere else at £4,100, finished and done. And I will sell the bike, make no mistake at all, at £4,100. I'm selling her. Sold away at 4,100. Lot 144, ladies and gentlemen, last ride home. There we are. So just like Steve Berry was telling you, he bought that Peugeot 205 GTI for £40 because that was cheaper than the train fare home. Here we go. There's a 1984 Honda QR50. But I think you might struggle, Steve, driving this one home. It's the original child's mini motocross bike. What do you reckon?
It is as well. And the thing about those QR50s, as my lad comprehensively proved back in the day, they are indestructible. If you look at it, right, believe it or not, Jules, I once clowned professionally in a circus. Now, I know you find that hard to believe, but it happened. And I got to ride, I only agreed to do it if I got to ride the bicycle, the tiny little clown's bicycle. And you wouldn't believe how heavy and strong those things are because they've got to support the weight of a full-grown man. Those Honda QR50s from back in, they knew what was going to happen. They were going to get crashed every single time they got taken out. So they're incredibly strong. They're incredibly durable. That little thing will be around when me and you are dead and buried, Jules.
Well, clown professionally. And I think that explains a lot, really, Steve, to be honest. Here we go, Honda QR50. You heard it from the man himself. These are indestructible, fully running in fantastic condition. 10 years dry store before it's come to the sale room. I've got quite a few bids on this, even though it came in at the last moment. I'm in at 450, 550 bid at 550, 650. 7 if you like, 700, I'm out. That is your bid. Provisionally selling at £700 in the room. 750, fresh bid, 850, 950, 1,050, 1,150, 1,250, 1,300. No, at £1,300, only bid at 1,300. And 50 on the internet. Internet bidder now, sir. You sure? I'll take 75. 1,375 bid in the room at 1,375. 1,400. You're out. Sorry about that. At £1,400, only bid at 1,400. If you change your mind, 1,425. Got you, sir, right at the front. Have a word with the bank manager. If she says yes, you're back in, okay? At 1,425, 1,450. Internet, 1,475. In the room. Against you at home, against you further back. Got the gentleman's bid here at 1,475. In the seated area at 1,475, 1,500 and 25. Still going at 1,525. Last ride home at 1,525. 1,550. 75. In the room at 1,575, at 1,575. Against you at home. Fair warning from your auctioneer. I'm going to sell. 16 if you like, further back, currently at £1,575, and I'm selling away. You sure, sir? Thanks anyway for your bids at £1,575, and I'm selling the bike. Sold away at £1,575 to 930.